So, we just got the first thing set up on the beach. We're pretty excited about it, so we thought we'd do just a quick product review while it was out in the elements. We've been wanting a 6-metre gazebo for quite a while. I explained it in the car on the way out. We had this same gazebo, except it was an older model on the Land Cruiser Park episode, just to trial it out. It was a mate's, we borrowed it, and we've been wanting one ever since. Simply because of the size of the volume of area underneath you can get under shade, and particularly because we've done a few camper trips in the rain, and when you've got the 3-metre gazebo, it kind of condenses the space into like a square 1.5 metre space under the gazebo that you can actually sort of chill out under when you're out in the elements in the weather. So we spent the money, invested in it. It's a great, I reckon it was a great investment. They're nice and thick and sturdy. We might put a little bit more comments in the bio, just on the sort of the structure and what it's made out of. But it is a Oztrail Hydroflow 6.0, and they market this one as anti-pooling, and I'll show you why when we go inside. But there's a few tricks to putting it up. We've got some footage when we were setting up just then of how to put it up. I tried it a couple of times in the backyard just to get the right process to do it, and I think I've nutted out the easiest way, so I'll explain a little bit of that too. But if you want to come in underneath it, so one of the other things I made sure we got, just if we are doing some stuff out in the elements and it is raining, is I grabbed just the walls, right? So these will Velcro into the corners here, into the sides, up here, if you can see that little Velcro spot, right? And I got one of these, which is the mesh wall, just to let a bit of airflow through into the kitchen and stuff if it's still muggy and sort of hot. And this one's just the bulk wall, just with no window or curtains on it. I've got 2 of these and 1 of them. The forecast for this weekend was a little bit of rain, so I thought we'd come out and get prepared. And you can switch them to either side, so you can have two of the walls on that side and then the Velcro on that side, and that blocks out whatever way the rain's coming in, and you can have this whole space under here to basically hang out in and stay out of the weather. So what a couple of cool features I reckon are these retractable sort of pivot points or circus tent poles. They sort of confused bugger out of Shane and I when we were setting it up for the first time, because they're spring loaded and we couldn't figure out how to get them down to pull the canvas over. But we figured out as it sort of
concertina is in.
Yeah, concertina's in and out. This bottom part is got a cap on it, so as it concertina's out, it actually pushes that pole up so that it pushes the top of the tent up, and it's spring loaded so it doesn't rip the canvas if it takes a bit of load or anything like that. And then these cool bars here, so this is one of the things.
Yeah, that corner.
Yeah. This is one of the things that the gazebo that we had at Land Cruiser Park didn't have. And these are the same, so these are set up just on little swivels and stuff, on mounts, angled mounts. And as the gazebo concertina's out, these actually flex up and they push up on the corner of the tents here, and that's the anti-pooling sort of element to it, which I reckon is pretty handy. We watched the video, Land Cruiser Park video last night, Shane and I, and we saw the gazebo that we had there, and you can definitively see a droop in these corners, the one that didn't have it compared to the one that had these arms. So we'll test it out. Nothing's bulletproof, nothing's completely sort of collapse proof. And funnily enough, the lady that at Snowy's Outdoors I got this one from, she actually said on the way out, now it's like a little disclaimer, these things aren't waterproof, they're essentially a shade roof, so they will still collapse. And you can kind of see here there's still a little bit of droop on the sides there, so I think there's still going to be a little bit of managing water flow. They got these little tie down things here, right? So you can clip that on and just pull the tent down and sort of tighten them up. Don't pull on these too tight, because I've already see the stitching here. If you can get in close to that, the stitching there. If you pull on them too tight, you just rip that stitching. So I just pull down on the gazebo and then just gently pull on that, and it sort of brings it a bit tighter. It's got three, from what I can see, 3 heights that you can go to on the clips. They got really, if you want to head over to this corner, got really heavy duty sort of slide mounts there. You don't catch your fingers and that like on the smaller gazebos. Just press that yellow button, it unclips it really easy, and then just push it up, clips it straight in. Same with these ones here, clip straight down. So I think it's a really good design.
Yeah.
So they come with these in the with the gazebo. One's sort of a straight peg and the other one's your normal sort of tent peg. The straight peg is designed to drop in these corner holes here. Peg the feet down. And the tent peg style, yeah, pulls on the corner of the prongs. Yeah, pulls on the corner of the tab there, and then you got your normal tent pegs. So you can pop it into the feet and put one down on the outside here. And pull it down, so it does get a bit gnarly. I think it ties down pretty tight. So I do just want to just quickly go through how we set it up. If you want to go back that way as I go, so I don't get that. Because it is a bit tricky, but you can put this up on your own if you're going to sort of family and you're the one that puts things like this up. You can kind of do it on your own. So in the front of the tent bag there's a big pocket for the canvas for the top cover, and I'll pull that off every time and roll it up and put it in that pocket, and then the frame collapse up and put it in the spot where it meant to come. It comes unpacked like that, and it's just so much easier to get into the cover bag, the carry bag and stuff when it's just the frame itself. You can get it extended out a little bit, and then essentially, if you go back, just lift up on the edge bit on the short side, and if you lift up and pull back and walk with it, it actually just concertinas out completely. And if you've got two people, one on this end, one on that end, just pick it up and sort of walk away from each other, and it just comes straight out, almost to the point where it's fully out. And at that stage, that's when you get the top cover out and pull it over, because these spring-loaded legs aren't all the way up then, and you can get the canopy over easier. Velcro it into the corners, and then fully concertina out and clip the legs in. You've got to fiddle with the top cover a little bit, because you can get that, Shane. You want these spring-loaded legs right in that triangle there, and if you get both corners in the triangle, these anti-pooling legs will be in that square there, and that square is just some reinforced sort of canvas, so that when there's heavy rain and it's got a bit of load on it, those legs don't punch through the canvas. And then just Velcro in and put all your little tie down points on and tie down, and she's a ripper. I reckon it's 10 times harder to collapse one of these than it would be one of the little 3 meter ones. But yeah, so it was the Snowy's Outdoors in Queensland. I've got them on special. They're $400 or $399, which I think is a cracking price for this. It's so heavy duty. There's just so much more area, so much more room. Everything looks like it's going to last a bit longer than the small ones. And the smaller ones that you get from, like the Wanderer ones and all that sort of stuff that you get from BCF and Anaconda, the 3 meter ones, they're just, I think they're like 180 to 250 bucks. And I mean, we've been through what, 3 or 4 of them in the year or two that we've been going. Yep. So I reckon you invest a little bit of extra cash. The walls were about 35 bucks each, and we'll do the review on the tent pegs later, but they were probably more expensive than up the tent. But I reckon it's a good investment. But we'll put it through its paces over the next year. We'll keep checking in to see how it went, and see how it's travelling, and if there's any issues with it, we'll get back to you. But I reckon the 6 meter is much better for a family going away. What we usually do is put the kitchen at one end, and you can wall around it with the window wall to get the breeze through, straight out to the fire. And then we have an end where we put swags and stuff under the rain if you like. It looks like pretty good weather this weekend, so we're going to swag it in the shade around on the grass, and this will just be the full dining area and where we put our camp chairs and stuff to give us heaps of room to move. You can all see, point down, like it's been up for like, I don't know, half an hour, and the sand's already cool under it, and you walk out and there's that sand out there and it cooks your feet. So yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed the review. It's a ripper. There are other 6 meter ones around, but the Oztrail one is the one that we're used to, so that's the one where we went with, and we'll give it a crack and see how it tracks.